Everybody. Welcome on today's monthly call for Innovative Manufacturing in Africa project. Today we will focus on the distributing production trials. So the first trial who started, and the trial 2 and 3, which will start very soon. We'll also have a quick update on the business models at the end of the call. So, but if you have any questions around distributing production, this is today, this is now, because we will enter into the second part of the production for the two other trial products. So if we can answer all of your questions live, that's the moment to do so. So I will quickly share my screen. Can you see my screen properly? Yes?
Yes.
Excellent. Do you see my slides?
Yes.
Yes? All right, thank you. So the first trial was to produce because it's still now, it's to produce some writing aids. We have to produce 900 writing aids, and 18 makers have been selected to participate to the distributed production of this 900 writing aids. So the production will happen is happening now between the 1st of September and up to September 15th, and the quality inspection should start in about 2 days. So we have makers from Ghana and Kenya. I have noted the name here. So we thank Kwatuefa, Asigri, Melinao, Samuel, Michael, Ya, Christian, Frank, Kwadwo, Richmond, Seth. And from Kenya, we have Abubakar, Lali, Charo, Peter, Rabin, David, and Emmanuel, who participate and who will be producing this 9 writing heads. There is some possibilities that some of these makers who are affiliated to some of you, because we only receive makerspace affiliated to Design and Technology Institute, Triple Dimension, Fab Lab Winam, and IMA 254. Martin, you have a long life because I just mentioned Fab Lab Winam when you just joined. Welcome. Who send their bids to participate in this production. So the production of the 900 writing aids is happening in Ghana and Kenya in these 4 makerspaces. And thank you all to have participated in that. So please, please take note, if it's possible, makerspace leaders from Design and Technology Institute, Triple Dimension, Fab Lab Winan, IME 254, to please write the date of submissions of the products. So as soon as you receive the products from the makers, please note the date. Because Gertrude, unfortunately, she cannot join today. She has an exam, but she will contact you to know about this specific date. So please take notes as soon as you receive products to enter the date and to note the date of the submission of this writing aids. Some makers may have not received a notification yet that they have been selected to participate in the production of these writing aids. The reason is I think they have shared their phone numbers and no email, so it takes a bit more time. In case you are in close contact with them, that's why I also share the names here, and I've also put the link in the agenda, so you can have a look at the list. If you are in close contact with them, feel free to reach out to them and inform them that they have been selected. We can help them to figure out for the payments and stuff, but they should start the production that has been agreed on. If you can help them, maybe we can exchange email through you or something like that. But yeah, some may not have received the notification that they have been selected. If you know some of them, please feel free to contact them or to inform them. If there's any question on that, just for now. No, I believe no. So for those who have not been informed to participate in the production, of course, we will not follow the production window that we have, because they may start soon, like from next week or something like that. So we will extend the production until September 30 for those who are started late the production of the items. So everybody has the same time to produce. Yes, Martin, please.
Sorry, did you share the list of those who have been selected?
Yes, so the link to this slide is in the agenda of today's agenda. I've shared the link. I don't know, because you came later, so maybe I can share again the link, or can I ask maybe Sarah if you can share again the link of the agenda, because I'm sharing my screen.
Yes, I shared the link to the agenda a couple minutes ago. Just, I'm not sure,
Okay.
Can everybody see the chat? Because sometimes I know that guests in team meetings may not be able to see the chat. I just, are you able to see that link, Martin?
Yes, the link to the, yes.
Great.
Yes.
Great.
So in today's agenda, on the topic distributing production trials, it's written slides, and if you click on the slide, so that's the slide that I'm showing now, you have the name of the list of the participants selected. So I think from your makerspaces, you have Peter, David,
Yes, and Rabin.
And Rabin
Yes.
participating. So in case they have not been informed and didn't start the production, they can start.
They are all informed. Thank you.
Oh, super. Excellent.
Yep.
And thank you again. Thank you to Peter, Rabin, and David, please, to participate in that. So yeah, and so we will start from September 16th. What we will ask now, you makerspaces leaders, is to do the quality inspection of this writing aids. So we have the technical documentation, so I can show you. If you click on the link, which is also in the agenda notes, the link to the technical documentation of the writing aid, you will arrive on this project specification document that all the makers have used to be able to produce this item. So on page 7, I scroll quickly, you have the methods of testing. So that would help you, makerspace leaders, to evaluate the quality of the product that has been manufactured. So if it's a good one that you can keep, or if it's the one that you cannot accept. So you have a different methods here: visual inspection, fit testing, and mechanical testing. So please use the recommendations noted on the technical documentation to help you with the quality inspection of the product you will receive. And I repeat again, because I think you arrived also later, Martin, we need from you to take notes of the date you receive the items from the makers. It is important for us to know when you receive them, and Gertrude will contact you regarding that. Yes, Anna, please.
Thank you. I just wanted to request for the makerspaces, as they're doing the quality inspection, to also collect data on like how many pass at the first inspection and how many either fail or have to be sent back. So we know that in many makerspaces, you may have, quite good close relationships with the makers. They may be nearby. You may just say, look, if you just, file the edge of this, it will be okay. But we still need to know how many have passed the first time before any rework is done. So it would be really helpful if you could collect that information. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Anna.
And
please,
just to say,
yeah.
These inspections are actually quite easy to do. It should take a few seconds per item to just quickly check. You do a quick visual inspection, look for any defects, make sure there's no stray bits of filament sticking out that could stick into somebody's skin. Check the surface quality. Does it look like a good quality item? Does it feel like something you would pay money for in a shop, basically? And then, yeah, fit. Does check it with a pencil. Does it actually work? Check it with a pen. It's really a very simple test. So, and you can, just by looking at it, you can probably tell. So please do take a look. And I think, it would be nice to know. I would hope that you would pass most of them, because it would be nice to know that the makers have actually done that before they hand it over to you. But please don't be afraid to reject some and to keep track of any rejected ones, because that's part of this experiment. It doesn't mean that the makers aren't going to get paid. In this particular case, it's an experiment. But it is really worth us just keeping track of that, as Anna has said. And you can see in this picture on the screen right now, one look at that, which one would you prefer? Simple quality control test. For this item, it's quite a simple process. At some point, we might reach out to you to say, can we have a quick video call on WhatsApp or something, where we take a look at one or two of them just for our own interest. But that's more likely with the next rounds, the next production trials. Should we go to Irene next and then Martin?
Yes, please. Sorry. Yes, please.
We can't hear you, Irene.
Hi,
hi,
sorry. Everybody.
There we go.
Hi, how's everybody doing?
Very good.
Hi, all good.
Hi. Just a quick question. If we've already gone through this process like a year back inside our own makerspace, are we able to just submit and say what we can do, and using the same document, just give you the 3 products that we think that we've done over the last 2 years?
What do you mean?
And include that. I'm saying in this document.
What do you mean in the previous years? Because this production trial is for the request for quotations that we sent out last month.
Right. So what I'm trying to say is, if there's a product that, like for example, we've done hospital beds before, and that is a product that we would like to perhaps, we have the proof of concept and all that, and that would be a product that would be, we have the methods of testing.
Yeah.
Is that acceptable, or how does it go? Because you already have the proof of concept.
Yeah, no, we have
2 or 3
for the 3 items that we are specifying in the production trial. We are going to stick to the methods of testing that are specified in the document. So we've already, for the chosen 3 items in each of the 3 trials, we'll hear about the second and third trials, the items that we have already chosen for those. Those RFQs went out a couple of weeks ago, I think. We're going to stick to the methods of testing that's in the documents, because then everyone's doing the same thing. So if you have different approaches that you've used with other products, I'd still rather you stick to the methods of testing as they're in the documents. Thanks. And Martin.
All right, thank you. Of course, Irene, in this journey, we are trying to build common indicators for all of us. So we try to work on making sure that we do the research, that we make sure that by the end of the day, we have something that we can compare through different makerspaces. But then my question, which I wanted to ask is, I know the numbers that we are handling are little, but do you think there is need for us to do the items one by one, or do we do the batches? Because I had an idea of which I know it's more applicable when you have so much work, but of course these ones are few, but I was looking at a situation where maybe I group them in groups of 20s, and out of those 20, I do a few checkup, and then that represent the rest. Thank you.
You're talking about doing the testing method in batches?
Yes, yes.
I mean, I would organize it however you want to organize it. As long as this test is done for each individual item, a couple of seconds per item, just look at it. Yes, it's okay. Have a feel. Yes, it's fine. If you do that for each and every item, that would be great. Now, remember that every item is supposed to, the RFQ requires that every item has a label on it, like particularly sort of who the maker is, so that we can go from the completed item back to the original maker that was selected to manufacture it. So you may want to organize it by maker and just have little bags, you know, 1 bag for this maker, 1 bag for that maker, and do it back in batches that way. But yeah, it shouldn't take very long. So yeah, organize it how you like, I would say.
Sorry, let me ask another question. I think there's something which you've said, I think we slightly missed it sometimes back, about marking every item. I think what happened in our case, we marked every package, but not every item. But I think what you are saying is very important.
Yeah, if you want to mark every package, that's fine. Yeah, as long as it complies with what's in the RFQ.
All right.
You can either mark the item or the packaging. So you could just we were telling the makers. Remember, it's, you know, you're speaking, Martin, as if you are one of the makers. So I'm assuming that you're passing this message on to the makers who are doing it. But you could just write in felt tip on it. It may not look very good. You know, you could use a Sharpie or something, or you could write it on the packaging or whatever. You know, there's different solutions, but we haven't specified that. It's just whatever's in the writing aid specification document that you see on the screen. Thanks for checking.
Thank you. If there's any more questions. No, so maybe we can go to the next part because we want to hear from you. So we'll stop sharing my screen for now. We want to hear from you who have started the first distributed production of the writing aids. So I will ask, I'm looking at who's there. I will ask maybe Melinao, Kwaku, Martin. Do we have someone from IMA? I don't see Derek. Oh, Kwaku, yes, you have, but I will ask you to put your camera on if you can, because we're going to have this conversation, quick conversation, but please take the floor and you can put your camera on at the same time. Thank you.
Hi, Jessica.
Hi, Kwaku.
I'm outside right now. I'll get inside pretty quickly and then I'll get my camera set up and all that. And I just wanted to say hi to everyone and make a little comment. So for the past 3 weeks, I think I feel like I'm a manufacturer of writing aids. Yeah, I think that's an interesting thing I'm doing right now. And there's been a few observations and interesting outcomes, especially with the pricing. If there's more time, we will talk about how I've been able to develop a small sheet for calculating like pricing, especially with 3D printing and all that. And I want to polish that and share that with the community pretty quickly. So that's it for now.
Yeah, thank you.
And my camera.
Yeah, you also shared a video that we've shared on the forum. I don't know if we shared it on the forum, or I don't think we had the link, because I think you were supposed to like maybe change the format so we can share it or something like that. But I have it, and maybe you can share it on the WhatsApp group of the IMA so the other can see this short video that you've made for the writing aids. That would be nice to share with the group.
Great.
Yes. So can we have you, Melina, also? Is it with you, or is it going to put this camera later on? Because I know you're together. I know we have Michael.
Yes, Michael.
Yes.
Hi, Jessica.
Hi.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm currently driving right now. So
oh, okay. No, don't.
I may not be able to look at the camera at the same time.
No worries. No worries. We will not ask you again.
Yeah. So I also want to say hi to everyone. Good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are. And yeah, just like Kweku said, it's been a very interesting experience manufacturing the writing aids over the last couple of weeks. We did realize that it's a pretty simple process in the first place. So there haven't been a lot of challenges in terms of getting things done as quickly as possible. I think the only thing that we have been trying to focus on so far has been quality inspection. So whenever we print a couple of writing aids, like once a batch finishes printing, we take a look at each of them and then do like the regular physical checks. Sometimes we don't get the desired outcome, which is normal, which is bound to happen sometimes. But then, yeah, it's definitely been an interesting learning curve for all of us. So yeah, I think so far, just like with what Kweku said, I think just to reiterate what he said, it's been interesting having to be a manufacturer of writing aids. And I do know that we have people coming into the makerspace from time to time to try and figure out what it is we are making and what we are doing, and to try and see if they can even help. And yeah, it's been an interesting experience. I think, yeah, if we had the chance, yeah, we'd definitely probably make more of these. But yeah, so far everything has been smooth. Yeah.
Oh, that's very interesting, and that's good news, because that was part of also the question I had for you who participated. I see there's also Michael, Martin, Mary. It's did you receive more people coming to your space? Like you just mentioned, like you have people interesting, like who wants to know what you were doing during this manufacturing trial. This trial attract more people also in your makerspace, Martin, Michael.
Hi,
Okay, Mike, you can go
Sorry.
first.
Okay. So I just wanted to say that, yeah, it's actually been very eye-opening and insightful, because it seems like a lot of people are not aware of the need for writing aids. So people see it and then they often joke about it, but then they come to the realization that, oh, like, this is actually very useful and actually very helpful. Like, we didn't actually think that something as simple as this exists and would be of such a great deal or such a great help to a lot of people. And yeah, that's when they come to find out that, I mean, like, as simple as it is, it's even easier to manufacture it. So that's when they feel the need to want to help. So yeah, it's been fun.
It's very fun. Michael, what about you? Good to see you.
You mean Martin?
Oh, you're muted. Yeah, you're muted. Michael.
Yeah, no, sorry. Hi, can you all see me? Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can see you and hear you well.
Great. Good morning or good afternoon. I hope you're all doing well.
Yes.
So far it's been interesting. The whole printing process. We have started a number of them. I think our main issue was with the fact that some of our makers, a good majority of our makers, are not so tech savvy. So the emailing thing has been a bit of a challenge for them. So initially, I submitted everybody's own as a group, and myself and Gertrude were trying to figure out if we can create maybe a WhatsApp group or community for the makers that are not so tech savvy, and then Gertrude can communicate with them, and then we can continue the printing process on their behalf.
Super.
So we, as a makerspace, we are a little behind on the printing. However, what we're doing is we're also leveraging the partnerships that we have with other 3D printing institutions. There are few in the university close by, and we have been the ones who set up their 3D printers for them. And so we sort of have a rapport going on. So once we have sorted through all of the getting in touch with our makers, we have secured about 20 printers that we can quickly get the job done and checked for inconsistencies. Because I set those things up, I'm fairly confident in the ability of those printers. Nonetheless, we'll have people, the makers themselves, ideally, be around to check as somebody goes around and inspects the prints that they have done. We really wanted, we had this really cool idea where we wanted to take a printer to the maker, because a lot of our makers are local artisans, and so they're usually very, very busy in their workshops, and sometimes, so usually unless they have a job to do with us, they don't stop by. So we had this cool idea of, like, taking a 3D printer to their shop and then would print with them. So we're still planning it out, and hopefully we'll be able to execute some of that. We think that it would be very interesting for them to see the technology and what they have bid for, and how it actually helps to make the lives of people who can't write a little bit better. Yes. We have also reached out to a lady who runs an autism center, and then we hope that our discussions with her would be fruitful. And once the prints are done, we are allowed to find and give to anybody else, right? Or
yes,
even
yes,
if
yes.
we can't, great. So
it needs
we
to be like any healthcare facilities, any place, like you said, like this autism center maybe can receive and can be have a use of this writing aids, like any places, any organization center you think may be beneficial for them. Yes, absolutely. I see there's also Andrew has his hand raised. Maybe you want to say a little something quickly, Andrew. Maybe it's from what you were saying, Michael.
Sure.
Yeah, just to say, this question of connecting via email or WhatsApp, I'm trying to set up a WhatsApp account specifically so we can keep in touch with everyone by phone rather than email. What does I'm British, I'm not Ghanaian, so I don't really understand. What do you mean by not tech savvy? Like, so, does it mean like that they're not used to using a computer and mouse, but they are used to using smartphones? What? There could be a lot to interpret from that phrase. Could you tell us a little bit about that, please?
Sure. So a lot of the makers that we work with, like I've said, are local artisans. The educational background typically ends in junior high school and maximum senior high school. I think that's the equivalent of middle school for you, I think. Okay. I'm not sure. So they are used to doing things a certain way. Okay, so he's familiar with WhatsApp because he realized that a lot of his customers use WhatsApp and then they have to send like images and things like that to him. So he's familiar with it. Now, when you say, oh, can you send an email? That it's a little bit different. The phone is capable of doing it, but being able to, get him to go through the process sometimes is just tricky. And so that's the only problem that we're having, to be able to send the email and then anticipate the receipt of an email and then reply to it.
It's not their way of working. Yeah, this is one of the things.
It's just not working for them.
Yeah. This is one of the reasons why we've selected the makerspaces that we have in this cohort, because we have quite a diverse group of different types of makers as well. We have some in universities and some who are professional makers, that running companies already. But we also have, the kind of initiative you're working on, Michael, where you're trying to create networks amongst local craftspeople. Thank you very much indeed.
Okay, thank you. So if we're able to sort that out, we have contingency plans laid out to ensure that we're able to deliver and have everything checked out nicely. And a bit of an exciting news. We are relocating to a much bigger space now. So we can be able to reach out to more people and form better partnerships. And we have like some very interesting things planned out. Originally, the space that we had is smaller, all right? So, but now we've been able to find a much larger space. And then we hope to be able to do a whole lot more with our makers. So, yeah.
Yes, very nice. I had a quick question. Oh, I see a question also, like a note from Sarah in the chat, like asking she would be very interesting to know how you transport the printers to one space to another one, like, and that would be interesting to know. She's very curious.
Okay, so the most rugged printer that we have is an Ender 3. It's able to withstand bumps and hits all around. So what we have is we have this portable table, and then we transport it in a vehicle like a taxi or an Uber. So the printer sits in the back, the table also sits in the back. We get to the welding shop, and then we set it up there, and then we walk them through how to start the print by themselves. And then we get the, so they can actually start the print and then go and do their work, and then occasionally come back and check on it like that. So, we hope to be able to do that with a few of the meters. Because the 3D printer is small enough, so we can, it's something that we can like move around. Or like maybe a laser cutter, which is requiring a second blade, or some other ones. A 3D printer is relatively easy to carry around. So we figured why not.
And so one of my questions that I have also for all of you, Makerspace, who has participated and who's participating, did the people pay for your machine? Like, for example, Michael, you go with your machines. Melina, you have people coming to the space at the university to use the machine. Maybe Martin also, we didn't hear also, that would be good to also hear your interesting view on the process. Do people pay for the machines when they come to your respective spaces, if they use them for the production?
Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, Michael. Of course, asante is thank you in Swahili. So, yes, I want to say that, one, our experience has been very good because actually we even participated in one of the business summit recently in the showing how we use 3D printer, and I remember we're showcasing what we are actually now producing with 3D printer, because for the longest time also a lot of people also have been seeing 3D printer as something which is used for just producing prototypes, but not anything that can be used. So this one was a very good step. I remember the governor's wife, who has also been very vocal about health issues, came to our stand and told us, please give me one. I want also go try to use this writing aid. And so she was very much amazed to see that 3D printer can be used in this. I can say that, of course, it has also been very good experience to see users hire our machines and use it, and basically the general, some of our dormant users are now waking up and realizing that, okay, there is also value on being just a member of the makerspace and, you know, doing various activities. So they are seeing that, okay, being a member of such a community also have its own values. I can also say that for this period, we also managed to get somebody who is also doing a lot of work with 3D printing somewhere else, and has even hired 2 of our machines for the next 2 months. So so we've made sure that we've given out some machines, and some are still working with us. So in our business model of hiring out machines, it is effectively working for us. Yeah, and also one thing which I want to attribute, maybe not directly to the manufacturing, but to IMA project generally, is that I got an email from somebody in Malawi looking to do Fab Academy in our space. So definitely this year we are going to register for Fab Academy and have classes. And so the whole of this exercise that we are doing with IMA is really boosting our visibility and also building our capacity to be able to go back and run Fab Academy. We had run it twice in 2019 and 2020 and then stopped, but I think this time round we are in a better position after all this exercise. Thank you.
Yeah, that's very good news, Martin. Andrew, please want to say something?
Thank you. One of the reasons we've included these manufacturing trials in the project is that we were basically telling RISA, the donor, that we think that this is a path to sustainability. Not only that the makerspaces might earn revenue from the use of the machines, the sale of materials, the quality control inspections, but also generating more interest and more engagement with members, so they see they can be associated with the makerspace and earn work through the makerspace. And one of the questions, perhaps for the next 2 trials rather than necessarily for today, one of the things I'd be interested in finding out from each of the makerspaces that have had makers working on these trials: have you been paid for the use of your machines? Have you provided the materials, or have the makers provided their own materials? Have you been paid for the quality control inspections? We do have in the quotations, we have the option for people to tell us, do you want us to pay the makerspace, or are you going to pay the makerspace? So we have some information from that already. But I will be interested to hear from everybody at the end of these 3 trials, whether there is an idea that this could be a source of income for makerspaces through the use of machines, the sale of materials, and you being paid to quality inspect something. Thanks.
Maybe Kwaku, if you want to start, or give us your.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, and see you very well.
I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you well.
Wonderful. So in our case at DTI, fortunately the season for the distributed manufacturing came when most of the students, or the school, was actually on vacation. So the students, being one of the main users of our makerspace, they were out at the moment, and it's the reason we had just 5 people participating in the distributed manufacturing and all that. So amongst the 5 people, 3 people are frequent users. That's myself, Michael, and then Melina. We are frequent users of the makerspace, so we have access to the 3D printer already. So the extra 2 makers that joined the distributed manufacturing, that submitted bids, one of them already has about 2 3D printers in his personal mini makerspace already. So he didn't have to come to DTI to come and do his printing, or he didn't have to come and borrow any printers or anything. So that was wonderful already. So it's just the 5th person who actually came to DTI to come and issue his print. So in his case, he's going to pay us for just the material, and then also for the inspection. It runs through, or I think most of them, because we are mediators of, even though the contract, I don't know how to put it, but for example, distributed manufacturing sends contract out to the makers individually, but because we are like the central makerspace going to receive the stuff, just some internal communication, making them all understand that, oh, it is better for you to let distributed manufacturing pay you whatever cost you quote for your product. Then later we will give you price for the quality inspection that you pay. That was just about 1 CD or 2 Ghana cedis per component or something. So like an internal regulation of how it should be done. Yeah. Another thing that I wanted to add, if there's time, is about the packaging of the product. So since the specification document did also not specify how the package should be made, we also took it upon ourselves to just make an internal regulation that, oh, let's all decide to pack our product in these small Ziploc bags, usually pharmacies use and all that, and then we print labels on them. So that was another internal regulation we added to it. So because we are also 5, it was very easy to communicate among ourselves and make sure we are all on the same page, and we are trying to make a uniform package. Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much. Did you already have an idea of who you will be donated these items to near you?
So we have two shortlisted. One is a very big military hospital in Accra here, 37 military hospital, and then Melinao also spoke of another facility where they do works related to I don't know. I think Melinao should, if he's around, he should give more insight on that. People who have some kind of these problems already. So 2 health facilities for now in mind. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, and I think we've lost Melinao maybe because he was describing that he has lost a bit of connection. So what about you to end this round of question about the first trial? Do you have any idea, Martin or Mary, from Fab Lab Women, to who you will be donated these items?
Yes, we already have a few ideas, including there is a children's home which is taking care of children. There's one which is taking care of homeless children, and there's another one which is taking care of children with disabilities. So already those ones, we have marked them, but we are also trying to work with Ministry of Health, because we really would want to make sure that we can use this as a tool of getting network with various hospitals. So even though we might do a good number to the big general hospital in the city, but we really are looking forward that if we can get a number of different hospitals so that we can develop a good relationship with them. So we are still working with the Ministry of Health to see how that works, but we also work directly with children's homes to see how we can also work with them on those areas, because who knows, maybe the next level will be working on prosthetics or something that can help them in different lines. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Martin. And thank you to all of you to share your first experience and how you live this distributing production trial of the Writing App with the IMA project. So now we go through the second round. Yes. So just a reminder, yes, we talked about the packaging quickly, but yeah, we need to have the label on the package, the product name, the maker or manufacturer's name on it, the date of production, and the item number. So it could be like we talked earlier with Andrew, could be on the box if it's already packed, or on each individual items. So for the second, yes. Hi.
So before we move on to the second trial, I think one interesting thing I realized about this distributed manufacturing trials is that earlier, when I'm doing any 3D printing work, which is maybe for fun or just a prototype, and I don't have any business model attached to or business idea attached to whatever I'm creating, you realize that I'm just printing for fun and I'm not doing any optimization. But when it comes to printing stuff, and you have costs and all that in mind, optimization comes in. So I realized that with the 3D printers, there was a way to make sure that many of the writing aids are going to be printed on one 3D printer at a time. So for example, in Michael Asante's case, where they want to be able to print lots of, lots of writing aids within a short time, Yeah, so in that case, you wouldn't want to be printing maybe 5 writing aids per time. So we were able to print about 12 of the writing aids on one of the and that previous time.
Michael, if you can mute. Oh, there you go. Kwaku, we have lost you. Are you still here? Yeah.
Yeah, so I was saying that in Michael's case, where they want to be able to print lots of the products within a short time, the optimization comes in. So this time you are not printing just for fun. You want to be able to print many of them within a short time with few 3D printers as possible. Yeah, just to reduce cost and all that and time.
Yes, that makes sense. Absolutely. So it's more interesting for one maker to bid for a larger quantity, a larger number of items to be produced, to be more competitive and to optimize also his machine, his time, etc. That's a very good point, very valid. Thank you, Kwaku. Oh, Melina was coming back. There is. So we can maybe now go to the second part. Thank you again to all of you for sharing your experience on that. I will share my screen again and we'll talk on the second trials. I will try to find my screen again now that I've shared it. Sorry about that. Yeah. So we will produce a test tube rack as the product number 2 and the tibial fracture fixation as the complicated product number 3. We have shared the request for quotation on September 1st. The deadline for the bid submission is September 30th, 30, and we will produce between October 13 and November 8. Is there any question on that first? Did you all receive the request for quotation? We didn't receive a lot of application yet. We have received more Maker Passport enrollment, so people are ready. But yeah, did you hear about anything from your makers maybe on the next 2 trials? You can just jump in the conversation.
So no, I haven't heard from my makers. So here's what we typically do over here. We go around and tell them, or we call them and tell them about it. We so for those who are very interested, they would stop by and then just take a look at what is being done. We discuss the manufacturing process. We discuss the quote and all of those things. And then they say, okay, we're good. Prepare a bid on my behalf. And then we'll prepare a check with them. If they're okay with it, then we share with them, with you. We have not, unfortunately, we've not gone around telling them about the second one and the third one. We hope to start that today and then going forward to inform them about the second bid. However, those who sent the emails have reached out and said, I think we had just two people who were able to send the email. But those who have sent it have reached out and said, oh, hey, is that something that we can discuss and then see if we can manufacture? So,
yeah, super, because excellent, because we have already reached out to every makers who have enrolled to the Maker Passport. For those who have shared the email address, for if we have phone numbers, that's the thing we were discussing. This will be it take a bit longer. That's why we also have extended the date for the deadline of the submission to be September 30th instead of 15th, as it was usually previously planned. I saw that Felix, you had your hand raised.
Yeah.
Oh, Andrew, please. And then we can go to Felix.
Felix first, and then yeah, I'll raise my hand.
Okay, yes, Felix, please.
Hi.
Hi.
We obviously see that none of there's a lot of reasons, but I think the South African makerspaces don't seem to have had much take up on the first round. So my one question is also because the makerspace is sort of bypassed in the value chain, and it's not a normal business value chain. So we sort of don't really know whether any of our members have actually signed up, or registered and stuff. Is there a way to find out who, we've all the makerspace founders run, we run WhatsApp groups and we have face-to-face and we have meetups and all. It's a whole lot of ways we have contact with our members, but it's a very irregular, it's not like we see everybody every day or speak to them. So we've not been able to really track what the take up was on and the sign-ups were, whether whether anybody pitched, but in the first place signed up to the just to be registered.
Yes.
Yeah, on the Maker Passport, for instance, because that'll also help us again when while we're now trying to convince people to look at the next phases.
Yes.
That's just it.
So to answer your question, I have the list of people who sign up for the People and Skill and the Maker Passport, and we don't have anyone except you from affiliated to Flatbox Studio who have enrolled or sent his qualification, skills, and information for the Maker Passport, and we didn't receive neither any request for quotation for or contract for these two items, neither the first one.
Yeah. And the other South African makerspaces?
From other makerspaces?
Did anybody from South Africa? Did anybody sign up from South Africa for the passport?
Yes, we have a few from TMG, from the Makerspace Durban, who have signed up for the Maker Passport. Yes, we do.
Okay. But nobody went further than that?
No, not so far, no. Not yet.
And the more the merrier, Felix.
No, it's just good to know.
Yeah.
But I know they sign up, for example, I have Nelson from TMG Makerspace who contacted me saying that his makers members have signed up for the Maker Passport, and so they will be interested in applying for the submission of the bid for the next trial. So we expect to receive some from them. Yes, that's what they enrolled themselves also on the Maker Passport.
I just wanted to say that we are extending the deadline for the submission of the RFQs from tomorrow for another couple of weeks, and that's partly because we haven't been able, as Jessica has said, we haven't been able to get the message that this RFQ has gone out to everybody yet, because not everybody has an email address basically on their Maker Passport. And we are, part of what we're trying to do here is get as many people signed up to the Maker Passport as possible. So yeah, please do keep sharing these RFQs. These are higher value items. We are expecting people to be billing larger amounts of money, basically. So there may be, and they're smaller quantities. So maybe they're more attractive to makers, rather than running, making the same thing over and over again. Maybe these are things which are somehow more attractive to make. But they also are more precision. With the test tube rack, assembly is going to be required, and it's going to have to, well, whichever material you make it out of, whatever color you use or whatever, it would have to be, it will have to look quite good. And with the tibial fracture device, you know, the bone is about training. It's about, you know, helping people to figure out how to do that fixation. So you need a pretty decent quality of 3D print on that. And as you can see, it's a big 3D print, so it's a bit of a tall order. And not all of the machines, not all of the makerspaces will be able to produce that, let alone the makers. So these are more challenging, but hopefully quite interesting jobs. And then, yeah, we'll just make sure that we keep you know, promoting them. The one thing about labeling on these ones, there's more of an opportunity for you to label. So if you wanted, you know, you could probably amend the files, the design files, to put the name of the maker or the logo of the maker, organization or whatever, on the product itself. And then the other thing, I think we might be coming on to this in the agenda, is that we will actually, in the next couple of weeks, we'll be updating the RFQ, and we'll make sure that the makers know this when it comes to the labeling. The people whose bids we select will get told this. We're going to be asking people to attach QR codes to these products, and we'll be talking briefly about that process and which QR code system we want you to use as part of it. And this is a little bit to help out some of the other activities. The team at the Internet of Production would like to help out some of the other organizations and develop some of the other activities that are going on in the community. But quickly to say, Jessica, I'd like to have a sort of AOB item of about 5 or 10 minutes perhaps to talk about the RISA funding at the end of the meeting. I know we've got about 25 minutes left, but
yeah, but that's perfectly fine. Felix, you had your hand raised again, I think, if you want to speak.
Yeah, I've said it through a few other channels, but I think I don't think it's. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry. Yeah, no, I think I said it through a few other channels, but I don't think it's necessary that the products are boring or repetitive. I think it's more in the economics of it that there's resistance, and also because of the quirky nature of our value chain in this experiment, which is not normal. We're delegating a lot of administrative burden to the makers, the actual producers, and I think they do sort of that cost analysis and go, you know, yeah, and maybe with the more complicated products, the equation will work out better for people to actually sign up and do it, you know,
exactly.
Cost benefit thing, you know. That's just my 2 cents, yeah. But
I agree, Felix, with your thoughts there. And part of my thoughts on this are that a lot of makers are more accustomed to making one thing at a time. They're not necessarily, you know, accustomed to making the same thing 100 times. So maybe they're not as excited about becoming manufacturers. But I'm hoping that will change, because that's one of the entire theories of the Internet of Production. So, sorry, Felix, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I think it's you know, as much as a lot of the makers are creatives, and the boredom is part is a caveat to the process. You know, it's also, you know, at the end of the day, almost all the makers are in it for business as well. You know,
Thank you.
They are hobbyists. That's part of our ecosystem, but a lot of the people are also, you know, it needs to make sense in terms of effort versus return, and I think also the thing that's come up through a lot of the makerspaces is and a lot of the members is the hurdle of actually the technology, having email, signing up on, dealing with, where a lot of the technology that people are, even our groups run 99% on WhatsApp, even business is done on WhatsApp, where those layers of friction, I think, is just sort of puts a bit of resistance in the results, but yeah, hopefully we'll have a less skewed idea of the distribution when it's a little bit more in inverted commas, worthwhile to get engaged, and the returns for the makers at the bottom end is better. Yeah. But that's just an observation from our side. But the technology thing is, I think, also a bit of a friction, and the burden of the admin.
Yeah, we have noticed this issue and the difficulty with the challenges with the phone and WhatsApp and how we could adapt, and learning from that. But yes, that's definitely something we need to consider. If there's no other questions on the next two trials, if you have any questions also specific to the contract or anything you can. Yes.
Is it? Sorry, in a similar fashion, are we supposed to find institutions to donate these things to?
Maybe.
Yeah.
It would be nice if you could.
Okay.
It would certainly help the project, because one of the things our donor is interested in is not only doing the building of the research and innovation ecosystem, but also having a health impact. That would be nice. But honestly, we can help with this, because I mean, the tibial fracture fixture product has come from the Global Surgical Training Challenge, which has contacts all over the world, including lots of good contacts in West Africa. So there may be places that we can help you find in your local area as well. But
okay, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, thanks.
I would also just like to say that part of the a lot of the all the three things that we are manufacturing are related to the medical field in some shape or form, and one of the things that we hope to do with our makers is find a way for them to get into that market, okay, where they are sort of people that medical institutions, they're typically not like, these guys are typically not people that the medical institution might reach out to and say, oh, hey, get us some test tube holders or things like that. But we hope to be able to get them propped to that point where they are able to say, oh, hey, we have a sort of collaboration with this makerspace triple dimension, and if you want it, we can actually get it done really well for you. And so we hope that we can, in a way, help them turn some of these things into sort of like a business. They may not necessarily be the people who are manufacturing it, but they can make some money off the referral, as a commission or something like that, because they move around a lot, they travel a lot. These guys are artists and fabricators, so buildings, just about anywhere, hospitals, you'd find them, right? So if one of the things that we are trying to figure out is a way to get them involved in such a way that they would be comfortable talking about it to maybe a hospital that they find themselves working in. Maybe they have to fix a burglar proof or a door or something in the hospital, and then they can say, oh, hey, if you guys want test tubes, we also need test tubes or something like that. So they like money, so we just want to make sure that
this is exactly the point. One of the problems that we have in the maker movement is that, and particularly in my area of work, the aid sector, which is lots to do with the medical sector, is that we don't necessarily see local makers as suppliers. And so there are activities that certainly I'm involved in, and others on the call here today have been involved in, where we're trying to help people realize that makers can be potential suppliers, but also that the whole point of the Internet of Production in some ways is to try and help connect makers to markets. So it just takes time to develop. Medical devices generally is a very fraught area because it's highly regulated for very good reasons. So you'll note that a lot of all three of the medical devices in these trials, and a lot of the ones that we were considering, none of them are regulated devices. They're not the things that are used for diagnosis or to go inside people. But we'd be happy to perhaps talk about this a little bit more in the future. Thanks, Jessica.
Yes.
Absolutely. I love that. Love that.
Thank you, Michael. So yeah, and if you have any other questions, you can send an email. But we don't have a lot of time, so we will need to wrap the question about distributing production. You can send your question on WhatsApp or send an email to the contract distributing production, and we will answer to you. I will hand it over to Anna to have a quick business model update. And yes, I want to have time for that. Thank you. And I hand it over to you.
Thank you very much. I'll try and keep this quite brief. I know there's not a huge amount of time left. Let me just share my screen. Can you let me know when you can see my slides?
We can see it, yes.
Perfect.
Very well.
Okay. Please feel free to jump in at any point if you've got any questions. I can't see the chat when I'm presenting, so if you speak out audibly, that would be great. So I wanted to give you some feedback on the feedback that we had from you in July about the draft of the Open Catalogue of Business Models. I had wanted to give you an update last month and I wasn't able to attend the meeting, so apologies for that, but thanks, Jessica, for making time in today's meeting. So the format that we finally went with, so we've released the first version of the catalogue, I should say. The link to that has been shared in the WhatsApp group. So you should all have access to that. It has 17 models in it under 3 different categories. So I'll talk a bit more about future plans later, but this is the first version. The next version will be to develop a website, which we also talked about last time. The way we've structured this first version is, as you can see on this slide, so there's 2 pages per model. 1 page covering a description, some variations, advantages, challenges, impacts, and giving an indication of what other models might work well alongside this one. And then there's also a business model canvas provided for each model. I won't go through these in any detail, but just to say that the first group of business models that we identified are all around sharing of expertise by the makerspace. So whether that's in terms of training other people or consultancy or supporting startups, it's all different ways of sharing what it is that you know. The second group of business models are all around sharing assets that you either have or have created. Now, those can be physical assets like your space or your machines, but it can also be sort of less tangible assets like access to a marketplace or to a community. So there's another 5 business models in there. And then the final group are all the different stages of the product life cycle, including materials, product development, various ones around manufacturing, through to repair and recycling. We have included quality control as one of those. Obviously, we're gathering more information about that one through the course of this project, and we'll be updating it with some of the learnings from that. So there's those 2 pages of information that I described earlier are available for each one of these models. Now, I was really grateful for the feedback we received from the IMA cohort and from some of the mentors as well. We had, I think, 6 responses that I know came from IMA related people, and a couple of anonymous ones that may have done as well. We had also asked for feedback from some other people, and we got 11 responses in total. Everybody said yes to the question of whether it would be useful. So I'm very pleased about that, obviously, and really appreciated the sort of detailed reasons of what people liked about it. And some of the feedback that we have already been able to take into account is there was a suggestion to provide the advantages and challenges of the business model, and you can see that that's in the format that we've gone live with version 1. There are some other pieces of feedback that will be included in the next version, the website version to be released in November, which is starting to show how elements are reused. So the idea of moving to a website is it gives us a much more flexible structure than a PDF document. So you'll be able to sort of link from one piece to another, and that'll enable us to kind of show where business model elements are repeated in different business models and things like that. And we'll start to move towards showing some information about how they can be adapted to local settings. Now, it won't, the information won't be comprehensive to start with, but that's the direction that it's going in. We also had a comment about whether the business models can be tagged and categorized. So we've gone with a simple category approach in the first version, just those 3 categories that I mentioned to you. But in the website version, we will be implementing tags so that you can also have groups of different business models related to particular topics. So thank you again for the feedback that we received. In terms of future plans, we are disseminating that initial version of the catalogue. We're preparing the next version at the same time with some of those improvements, and we're still conducting interviews. So if you know anybody else who you think we should interview around this, perhaps any innovative businesses that have come out of your spaces or something like that, then please do feel free to put us in touch. The website will be going live at the end of November, and obviously we'll share that widely as well. And this is then going to be a live project going into continuous improvement. We are already planning an expansion into giving more detail around potential models for open hardware, and there may be other sort of specialized expansion areas in the future, and we'll continue to do additional interviews so that we can add information from new and interesting models as we come across them. So I'm still interested in feedback. What else you'd like to see in the catalogue? We are preparing the next version that's going on the website, so there's an opportunity for anything you can think of that we can do to make it better. I also wanted to offer to anyone, any of the makerspaces in the IMA cohort, if you're interested to have a one-to-one session, I would be really happy to schedule that with you to talk through the models in the catalogue and how they might apply to you. So just reach out to me by email or WhatsApp if that's the case and you'd like to arrange one of those. So that was a whistle-stop tour, but please do let me know if you've got more questions. And I want to just say that I keep being the one who presents about this work on these calls, but it's not just me doing the work. And I also want to acknowledge and thank Martin and Gertrude for their contributions to this. So that's all I wanted to say. Are there any questions for me?
I would just like to say that it's I'm still going through it, but it's really good, really good. It it takes away a lot of the hassle from planning out, at least figuring out some of the key points related to running certain business models, and so I personally want to have a one-on-one. I'll send you either an email or a WhatsApp so we can just discuss a few of them that we find interesting and would like to pursue, and then we can just talk through it. We have a few ideas that we have listed out, so we can just just talk through it and then see where we're able to get from there. But all in all, I think it's really great. Thank you.
That's lovely to hear. Thanks a lot for the feedback, Michael. And yes, I look forward to hearing from you to schedule a one-to-one. Thank you. Okay, if there's no other questions, I'm going to hand over back to Jessica.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Anna, for the presentation. Don't hesitate to share feedback to Anna, our book one-on-one session. So that's the end of today's call, but I will hand it over to Andrew to talk about the RESA fund and more. Andrew, the floor is yours.
Thank you. And Anna, maybe if you could stop sharing your screen, please. The idea of a one-to-one call on this also, thank you very much. I think that's a great opportunity for everyone here. Right. I've got a little bit of news. Normally, when a donor gets in touch with me, the donor is going to tell me that they are cutting the budget. On this occasion, the donor RISA, the RISA Fund and UK Aid got in touch to say, we want to increase your budget. And I now, by tomorrow, I'm working with Jessica and the Internet of Production team to prepare a proposal for $100,000 that we have to spend by December for this project. Now, I've got lots of ideas, things that have emerged, things that we've done that we want to develop, like a platform for the maker passports, or like creating a systems map to show how the Internet of Production will work, or like developing case studies of the business models, or publishing an academic paper around the indicators that you've all contributed to. There's even some more specific work around asking makerspaces to work with local universities to map their machines. But that might only be in 1 or 2 cases. Now, I'm going to ask you, if I was to write in to this proposal, what you might spend, each of your makerspaces might spend, let's say, $2,500 to $5,000 on, that has to be spent between, say, October and December, what would you spend it on? Now, we've already arranged a grant of just below 20,000. And I think it will be difficult for me to justify increasing that grant without also increasing the activities. So I was wondering about things like, would it be helpful for you to fund gatherings for you all to meet face to face? And maybe you could bring other makerspaces along as well for interest. So, you know, if we were to say allocate $10,000 per country so that there could be a makerspace gathering in each country. But then we'd need someone to be the host. And, you know, someone would need to manage that. What about, you know, maybe your makerspace would benefit from training on finance or from training on project design and proposal, you know, fundraising training. What about, we've heard a lot about WhatsApp in this conversation. Maybe you need to hire somebody to pay for somebody's time to convert a WhatsApp list into a membership database that is linked to the Maker Passport. What would you spend with this? What would you do with this extra money if we were to find a way to ask the donor, and we may not get it, but if we were to ask the donor for let's say $2,500 to $5,000 per makerspace, or $15,000 up to $15,000 per country, what would you as makerspace leaders imagine that you could spend that extra bit of money on that helps to build research and innovation, the research and innovation systems of makerspaces? Please let me know, ideally by WhatsApp, ideally as soon as possible if you have ideas, because I'm literally completing the document today and tomorrow to send in. And we've got a call with the donor in half an hour to go through the first set of ideas. Thank you.
Can I just throw in an idea for makerspaces to consider as to whether they think it might be useful? Is, for example, whether you had per country meeting with the 3 spaces that have been in the programme, but then also involving, for example, representatives from hospitals, people from the national standards body, you know, something like that to sort of look more on the market side of some of this local production, just to see whether that could be worth exploring.
Thank you. Okay. Any immediate ideas or reactions? Good. Answers on a WhatsApp, please. Let me know what you'd do with some extra money. It's really nice to have a donor that writes to you and say, please, can we give you some more? And I'm like, yes, you can. We're going to do our best to get it. Thank you very much. Thanks, Jessica.
Thank you. There's just a quick note from Felix that we will put a quick 2-line in the WhatsApp. So yeah, the one who are not present on the call today can also participate and have, yeah, there's a major blackout in South Africa, for example. So yes, we will do that. Thank you, Felix. Thank you, all of you. If there's no more question, we will end this call, today's call. We'll see you again on October 12th for the next monthly check-in call. In the meantime, let's continue to talk, discuss on the forum and on the WhatsApp, and book any one-on-one session you need, even with me. So thank you all so much again, and talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thanks, Jessica. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.